Welcome back to everybody's favorite Wednesday night episode of Wire2Wire Sports Podcast. I'm the NFL GSG Wolzak, and in the upper left corner, we got Kent State Zone, Cleveland Zone, College Cutthroat.
Gentlemen, this is always a fun show. Obviously tomorrow's fun because you get to eat. You hopefully get to spend it with a lot of people that you care about, and you get to watch a ton of good football. And then, of course, it all leads up to you got a Black Friday game, which I'm sure you guys are going to talk about later here. And then, of course, on Saturday, you got a ton of good college football. So I'm feeling good, man. It's always a good week for us.
Will Shally join the team? That's all I'm asking. Will Shally join the team? In the upper right corner, we got Scholastic Shally, Uncle Shally, Sweet Potato Shally. Mr. William Shallcross, how you feeling?
Good. It's good. Good to be back. Festive week. I agree with Cottrell. This is always a fun show, and it's fun that we always get to have the Thanksgiving Eve show. So saves us from all going out and drinking. It's a good thing.
I'm going out afterwards. I just had vodka in my vitamin water. What are you talking about?
Oh Lord.
I'm getting lit tonight, boys.
This should be
up. I'm ready to rock and roll. What are we doing?
We should turn this into a drinking show every year.
I would. Up down. What shit there?
Say no more.
Open my window or something. I don't know.
Get some Christmas out. We'll get it going.
We'll find out eventually. I think I can get him. I think Shally is going to join me today.
Nope.
It might not be today. It might be next week. They lose to the Bears. He might join me next week on the Negadelphia. It's happening. It's coming soon. I told you it was going to happen last week.
I did
you didn't
too.
want to listen. By the way,
we had a great segment on the Eagles last week.
I posted the Eagles were going to lose. And I'm sorry that the earlier you can accept it, the better. And the Eagles go up 21-0. And every comment was like, you idiot. I can't believe how wrong you are, you stupid schmuck. All over my comments. I'm not happy they lost. I want them to win. I want to be wrong. By the way, the Eagles' first Super Bowl came on a year I gave them 0% chance of winning the Super Bowl when Carson Wentz got hurt. So maybe me being negative might be helpful. It might actually help. All right, we got hot wire. We got other shit to get into. I'm just telling you the truth. I feel like the Eagles and the Browns have the same shot at winning the Super Bowl this year.
I wouldn't go that far, but
Well, I mean, both are 0.
I mean, go on the run. I mean, we're 3-8 now. I mean, you never know.
Both are 0. All right, 1. Both are 1. Let's go.
Gotta win out.
I'm tagging MTV Devin Walker and Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons getting the chat. Tagging everybody. Bring up some hot wire shit. Come on.
I got you. So we got some news today, actually. We're going to start off NFL-wise, but former, Pro Bowl, All-Pro center Frank Ragnow, the Detroit Lions, has come out and said that he is coming out of retirement, and he would be joining the Detroit Lions for the rest of the season. Now, it's unclear of when exactly he will be back exactly. His exact words were sooner rather than later. I would be stunned if he actually played tomorrow. However, that just kind of given his familiarity already with the offense and things like that, and he says he's in shape at this point, I'd imagine it'd be within the next week or two. With that said here, does this change your guys' outlook on the Lions? I know, a big part of your question marks with this Lions team was the interior of that offensive line. This is a huge boost. So does this change your outlook on the Lions throughout the rest of the season at all, or kind of just one of those good for him and kind of keep it moving?
I think tomorrow's game will change my outlook on the Lions a lot more than anything else. He's not going to play tomorrow, right? But if they go out there and get waxed by the Green Bay Packers twice this year, I don't think Frank Ragnow is going to change that. I'll be interested to see how tomorrow plays out. I have my own thoughts, but no, it doesn't. This is I don't want to say an irrelevant move, but it's a Brandon Graham move.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's not an awful comparison. I think it might be a little bit more impactful than that. But I don't think it's a Super Bowl winning move or anything like that. Again, it's going to help them. I mean, if he gets back into form and is actually in shape, yeah, I mean, he's going to help the line. But again, I don't know. I don't think you can sit here and say this, moves them necessarily up the ladder or up, further up, the odds list of where you thought they were in regards to winning the Super Bowl. I think it helps them be a little bit better team, a little more sound offense. But again, I don't think it's drastic.
So I 100% disagree with the notion that it's a Brandon Graham move. And I know you guys aren't saying it as like it's an apples to apples thing there, but let's not forget Frank Ragnow is coming off of back-to-back all pros, and he's only 29 at this point. So I think it's a huge upgrade for that Lions interior there. And that's a position where we had a lot of question marks with him. Now, do I think him coming back all of a sudden just makes me think they can go win the Super Bowl? No, I don't think that. However, I do think for an offensive line who has struggled in that specific area, if he comes back and he's the leader and he's helping out, and Jared Goff's a vet at this point, but if he's helping out with protections and he's picking up the slack for other people that may have missed assignments and things like that, then I do think that could be a huge positive for them. So I think it's more than what the BG signing is, but I don't think it's a Super Bowl, winning move there. I think it's somewhere in the middle there. It may help them win an extra playoff game in there, take here and there. It ultimately may put this team in the playoffs. I think this Lions team has been a Jekyll and Hyde kind of team there, and you saw Dan Campbell take over the play calling and things like that there. So NFC playoff race is getting tight there. I think this can be a move to for sure solidify them in the playoffs and maybe win them an extra playoff game down the line.
Okay. The reason I said it was a BG move is I think it's more of a locker room move. I think it's more of a leadership move. I don't necessarily mean apples to apples. They're the same player. I just think the upgrade you're getting at Frank Ragnow at center, not having an off season, not having a training camp. He could say he's in shape all he wants. BG said he was in shape. We all seen what the hell that looked like.
Well, BG's 40 though. Frank Ragnow's 29.
Yeah, but he hasn't played football.
You're right. I'm not saying he's
in football shape. So when is he getting in football shape? By playoffs?
Maybe.
If they make it, they're out of the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
He won't be in football shape for a while.
No, I agree. I agree with that notion.
Tomorrow, I got news for you. They're not making the playoffs. So, yeah,
I think this can be a move that helps them ultimately make the playoffs. Like I said, I don't think this is a Super Bowl winning move or anything like that, especially at center. Like you're going to be hard pressed to just have your center come in and it change the dynamic of what your future outcome will look like. Now, one guy that could do that, not right now because obviously he's not ready to play, but Jason Kelce would be like the one of the only exceptions to that. Like if he was a bigger guy and things like that, like I think that's 100%, especially with the Eagles offensive line issues, things like that. That's a different conversation. But Frank Ragnow, not there. So hard to move the needle like that from the center position.
Okay. I don't think Jason Kelce would move the needle at all. I think he'd
right now, no.
The center if he came back right now.
Yeah, right now for sure. I mean, he's probably 240. Like he's lost a lot of weight. Like he's not
lost a ton of weight.
Yeah, so he's not the same guy. I'm just saying, like, as far as
I get it. If
he came back while he was where he was at
center, but I think that it's a nice move for the locker room is what I essentially meant, and I'll stand by that.
All right. Anything else on Ragnow before we go on to our next topic here?
More.
All right. So something that we really kind of already knew, or I felt like we felt that this was going to be happening here. But Chris Paul has officially announced that this will be his last season in the NBA, and he will be retiring after this season. Now, it's funny because Chris Paul's always a hot button topic on this show here. With that said, I'm not a hater. I'm a realist. But with that said, definitely want to give Chris Paul his roses here. I hope he actually does get. I hope he does get a farewell tour. I hope teams show him the love because he is a no doubt about it. First ballot, not even just because of the NBA how it is, but no doubt about it, first ballot Hall of Famer. So, wish him the best on the farewell tour, and I hope he gets what he deserves.
This is nice. Where the hell did this come from?
like I said, I'm a realist there. We're not
You're a
talking
hater.
about
You're a hater.
Chris Paul in comparison to others.
Did Chris hit on you? I just want to know. They had a party one time, and here's Child. I'll go to you right after this, but the fourth greatest point guard of all time is hanging him up. My question is this, right? Kobe got a farewell tour. Paul Pierce did not get a farewell tour. Do we think Chris Paul gets a farewell tour? Because he's in between those two.
I think it depends on where he's at, but
yeah, I do think certain teams will probably do something for him. I would say he's definitely more on the like side of Kobe than probably the Paul Pierce side. If I had to venture a guess there within the NBA community, and I don't really usually get involved in the bickering between you two of Chris Paul, but I will say, I don't really have much to add other than what Cottrell said in regards, like Gene just said, top 5 at his position all time, no doubt about it. Probably could argue, I guess you can't argue top 3. But absolute first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best to ever do it. I think you have to also include, he's one of those guys that, to my recollection, I can't remember him ever getting in trouble off the court. For all intents and purposes, a really stand-up guy. I know does a lot of the community, a lot of charity work. I know he was a player rep for a while as well. Just a matter of it's a lot of he's one of the greats to ever do it, one of the best of our generation by far, and it's going to be sad to see him go, but at the same time, I think it's time for him to go. So, probably going to leave without the coveted title, but I don't think it's. I don't think it'll. We'll see. I don't think. We were almost done. At the end of the be all, though, I think he will fall more in the line of like a Dan Marino, where like I think it'll be brought up, but I don't think it defines him. I think he's good enough where it doesn't define his career legacy.
I want to lock into one thing that you said. You said it, and you cannot take it back. I'm gonna hold you to it because Cottrell's going to argue it, and I heard it, and it came out of your mouth. I need you to lock in on your statement that you made. You said, no doubt about it, top 5 at his position of all time.
Yeah,
which you said.
Okay.
Cottrell will argue that. Cottrell will tell you he's like top 20 at his position.
No. Cottrell's never said top 20. Stop it. Stop. You're trolling. You're trolling now. You're trolling. All right. Go ahead.
Cottrell. Chris Paul or Steph?
Steph.
Zeke. Magic. Jason Kidd. Let me go. There's more. I'm just thinking of it. Steve Nash.
Chris. We've already hashed that out.
Oh, we hashed it out. Okay. Oscar Robertson.
See, I didn't see Oscar play, but
John Stockton.
Chris, I'm anti John Stockton.
Okay. Why are you anti John Stockton? Just out of curiosity.
Just like when I think of great point guards, like I'm not going to say obviously John Stockton was a good player, but when I think of like the all-time greatest, I think of needle movers, and for me, passing the ball and defensively, he was incredible. Like I don't want to take that away from him, but passing the ball down to Karl Malone and not really being a true Robin for him, it was like, hey, here you go, Karl. Like I'll set you up to do everything, but never being the true Robin.
Wasn't a true Robin?
Yeah, that's
multiple championships. It wasn't from Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that's rough, bro.
Averaging what though?
He has the most assists, the most steals in the history of basketball,
and that's absolutely incredible.
He averaged for a career 18, 19 points a game. Let me see. I'm almost sure it's like 18.9.
I was gonna say
I did not average that much. Promise you didn't. Maybe 13.
It is 13. 13. He's not wrong.
Yeah, that's for me. That's not and I get it. Assists are very important for a point guard, but for me, that's not a top 5 point guard all time.
Yeah, 14, 17, prime of his career. 14, 17, 17, 17, 15, 15, 15, 14, 14, 14. Yeah, I get it. I follow your point.
Got to remember too, different game back then. I mean, point guards back then were more the prototypical point guard. Like that was his job.
But
I'm not saying
Magic also played back then, and
I'm not saying he's better than them, but I think you saying he was a good player, I think, is a disservice to him.
Oh, absolutely. He's a top 10 point guard all time.
Okay.
When I say good player, I don't mean it like a true disrespect. I'm saying like when I'm talking about top 5, like for me, he's not in my discussion.
All right, so you have Chris 5 though.
Chris would probably be at 5.
Okay, that's fair. As long as you have him over Russell Westbrook, we're okay.
Conversations can be had, but Chris is better.
All right, there we go. That's all I need to hear.
Can we get out of here with you guys on an agreement? It's the night before.
We're
good. It's the night before a holiday.
I have him 4. He has him 5. I'm fine with that.
Let's move on in peace.
All right. So nothing else. We're leaving that where it is.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Well, moving on then. We have Lane Kiffin. He's the hot button topic around college football right now. He is ultimately going to be announcing his decision sometime after the Egg Bowl game with Ole Miss and Mississippi State being played on Friday. So I'm assuming we're going to know more probably on Saturday. Tune in to Coast to Coast. We'll have the breaking news if it drops. But with that said here, though, definitely wanted to get your guys' opinion before we get things here, get some speculation from you guys. Where do you think Lane goes if it's any of these 3? If he tries to weasel his way into an NFL job potentially, does he just, try to stall it out a little bit more? Where do you think Lane Kiffin is going to ultimately end up here?
He's not going to the NFL. I'll tell you that right now. He'll get chewed up and spit out in the NFL. I mean, I'm still guessing LSU. I'd find it very hard to believe after all this that LSU is not going to get their guy here if this is really what they want. I think Florida's out. I don't think he goes at that point. I don't know if he goes backwards. I think I said it last Saturday. I think he's trying to stall it out because I think he wants his cake and eat it too. I think he wants people to coach Ole Miss through this season and then go, and play around with LSU once he's done. I don't know if both schools are going to agree to that. I don't see how both schools are agree to that. But I think that's ultimately what he wants. And I really think that's a sticking point. I'd be shocked if this doesn't come out Friday after the game. If they somehow keep this under wraps till Saturday morning, I would be very surprised.
I think he's going to Florida. I think all the controversy around in Louisiana around the LSU coaching job is going to be too much. I think he ends up going to Florida. I think Lane Kiffin's a scumbag. I think any coach, and I don't care what college football needs to fix this shit, right? You would never see this happen in the NFL where, we're going to take the Jets coach and we're going to have him go coach a playoff team. Like, what the hell? Like, no, it's so dumb that like a playoff team coach, a coach that could be coaching in the college football playoff, has to leave his team to go to another team to recruit. It's dumb. It's stupid. I think they need to figure out something to happen with the recruiting season where maybe you stop recruiting. You don't allow recruiting from like December, January, and then it starts in February. I don't know what the right answer is. I know that it's stupid that Brian Kelly had to leave Notre Dame when they still had a chance to win the college football playoff. It's stupid that Lane Kiffin's might have to leave Ole Miss when they still have a chance to win the national championship. I think that's dumb. I hate that. But that's what's going to happen. I think he goes to Florida.
So I agree with you in the sense that if there was a way to fix it, I would be all for it. It's just tough because there's so many moving parts, like with the portal, with obviously the high school recruiting and signing day coming up here. I don't know what that looks like to make it right, but I agree with you in the sense that it is dumb. Now, in this case for Lane, though, I can't necessarily co-sign about how dumb it is for him specifically, because Ole Miss has basically come out and said, we'll match everything. You want $13 million a year? We'll give you that. You want $25 million for your roster? We'll give you that. So if he wants to be at Ole Miss, he could 100% be there. And LSU LSU is an upgrade from Ole Miss, but I'm just saying in Lane's case here,
Louisiana, Mississippi, or Florida?
I'd want to live.
Where do you want to live?
I live in Florida, personally.
Yeah, I'm living in Florida. Although
But
Gainesville's not really Florida. That's like the
Florida,
shitty part of Florida.
Florida, say, man. I mean, you gotta make Florida sound like something it's not. Florida's a shithole too. So,
I mean, I'm sure it's not.
It's not
Oxford.
Louisiana or Mississippi.
I get it. The only thing I would say, like Baton Rouge, is nice. Like that's all I'll say. Like I've been down there enough. Like New Orleans is kind of dumpy, but that's not where he's going to be. Baton Rouge is 45 minutes away. Baton Rouge is a nice town. So, the weather,
not a nice town.
no. I mean, Gainesville, where like the school is nice, but
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to live in Gainesville. He's going to live further away. Mississippi is just an absolute shithole, and it's a poor state. But
Florida's a dump.
parts of Florida are nice. Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah,
Jacksonville's a dump, but
Fort Myers is nice. Tampa Bay is nice.
Yeah. I mean, more stuff on the Gulf Coast side, but Miami is just a joke. But
World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, it's weather related. That's not because it's a nice city. I would be shocked if he stays at Ole Miss, because at this point, I feel like you would have said it by now. So I think Ole Miss is out. LSU's a better job than Florida. It just is. I think there's less pressure Florida. I would agree with Gene on that one. But ultimately, Lane is definitely, I've called him a scumbag a million times. Won't be my last. He's an ego guy. He loves being the center of attention. I think he will take the LSU job, because he will. Even if you listen to all the stories right now, like there's a lot of other teams that are freeze in like a frozen mode to waiting to find out where he's going to go, so they can start talking to other people, and all the other dominoes can start to fall. He loves all the attention. He loves being talked about every day, because he hasn't made the decision yet, so it's still a headline every day. He loves all of it. He's an egomaniac. I think he's going to LSU.
Agreed. I mean, I think I would truly be stunned if we go on Coast to Coast on Saturday and it's not reported or being announced that he's going to be the next head coach at LSU. I think they're just right now ironing out the details of when his tenure is going to end, if Ole Miss potentially makes the SEC championship game, or where they're at in the playoffs. So I think really that's what they're ironing out right now. But I honestly don't see a way for Lane Kiffin to not be the next head coach at LSU.
I'm gonna feel bad for those kids, man.
Well, Lane Kiffin's not smart, so that's not a move that he would make.
It's gonna be really interesting to see what the committee does too if he leaves. I mean, it's gonna be.
No, that's not happening.
What?
He's not going to Penn State.
No. He's not the right guy for Penn State. He's not a Penn State type of guy.
But Gene, I know you had
breaking news.
I was going to say
breaking news for Hot Wire. Just came out a little bit over an hour ago, 6:21 to be exact. The Blue Jays have agreed to a 7-year, $210 million deal, $30 million a year for Dylan Cease. It gives them a much-needed ace at the top of their staff. I think it's an overpay. I don't think Dylan Cease is worth that much. He's got the stuff. He's just never put it together. Put it together for one full season. I like Dylan Cease. You guys remember when I picked Dylan Cease to be the Cy Young for the AL when he was in the. But I guess the nice way to say it would be, I don't think he's worth it, and you're paying for potential. But he has that potential.
I mean, I think he's consistently inconsistent. I think you're spot on there. He definitely has the stuff. I think he adds a much needed, top of the rotation type guy. I'll tell you this: $30 million for a hard throwing right-handed starter isn't really. I don't mind the money per se, if I'm being honest. I don't think. Yeah, it's the term for me. If I'm being 7 years for a guy who throws as hard as he does, to think you're going to get through that 7-year deal probably without arm issues somewhere along the line, especially as he gets older, that would be my concern. But Yeah, I mean, I think it makes their staff a lot better. You have Gosman at the top. He's a rookie that I can't. His name's escaping me now, but pitched his ass off in the World Series. That's a big move for Toronto, no doubt at all. That is a we're gonna try to win now type move. So
How about Trey Savage?
yes.
Incredible.
Yeah. So that's a big move for Toronto. That's a big move to keep them relevant in that division because the Yankees are going to spend money. Boston already went out and got Sonny Gray the other day, put him behind Crochet. So that's a good move for Toronto. If you're a Blue Jays fan, again, I don't know if you like the term. I don't hate the money. I'm not in love with it, but I don't hate it as much as Gene probably does. But it's a big move.
I think the other part too of that is it would be interesting to see who else was in the bidding for Cease, because I think part of the overpay could be, well, I'd rather give him an extra, $30 million total if that means he's not going to the Yankees or he's not going to, I mean, I get it, the Red Sox already got Gray, but he's not going to one of these teams already in our division or even just in the AL in general there. I think it's a move that kind of surprised me a little bit, though, because in that World Series, I wouldn't say pitching, like starting pitching was like the reason why they didn't ultimately win that World Series. But I also understand it because you're probably not going to re-sign Bieber, is my guess, especially after making this move. So you kind of take that out the rotation there. But ultimately, I think it's a move that keeps Toronto 100% in that contention there. And if you can go out and add a no doubt about it starter to your rotation there, like why wouldn't you go do it? So curious to see what other moves they make. Cause like I said, I don't think this was starting pitching was the reason they lost that World Series there, but definitely think this is a plus move and, could potentially move the needle for Toronto next season.
I'm ready. By the way, I don't compare me, bro. I'm not saying it's a bad deal. I'm just saying that it's a bit of an overpay. Like I don't hate the deal for Toronto. I just think that it's a bit of an overpay. Now, what it is this, right? When the Phillies got Zach Wheeler, it was a bit of an overpay originally. And guess what? It turned out to be Zach Wheeler well outplayed that contract. I think that it's possible that Dylan Cease could outplay that contract. And you saw him 7 years at 29 years old. Yeah, he could 100% be one of the top pitchers in baseball, and that deal could be a bargain. I'm not saying that it's a bad deal. I just think it's a bit of an overpay. But we'll see.
Long as you get, I would say, in my opinion, I think a win is if you get 3 to 4 years from him and ultimately you win a World Series, the money will work itself out.
Shao, you ready? Put the gloves on.
Sure.
Put the gloves on, Shao. Guys, I got it. I have to. I've been waiting for this show. I didn't even unload on the morning show. I've been waiting for this moment. 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday night. I've already said this. I'll say it again. The Philadelphia Eagles will not win the Super Bowl. Not probably won't. Not kind of, might not. Will not. Staple it. I put the Eagles in the same category as the Browns, as the Dolphins. Teams that aren't eliminated yet, but they kind of are. They go up 21-0, and this is my point, right? They have massive issues at the offensive coordinator situation. And I'm putting this in 80% on Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni. I'm not saying to fire Nick Sirianni. I'm not going to be crazy and say to fire a Super Bowl winning head coach half a year after winning the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that. But this is what happened in 2023 when you lost your coordinator in 2022 and you promoted from within. Cottrell, I said this in February. In February, I said this. I said, Cottrell, the Eagles better not promote from within. Please don't give this job to Kevin Patullo. I've seen it written on the wall. And I'm going to make a declarative statement right now. You guys might think I'm an asshole for saying this. You probably will. It's like right up there with Gene could beat Ronda Rousey in a fight. I swear to God, I believe this. Like, right hand to God, if my full-time job was to be the Eagles offensive coordinator, I think I'd do a better job than Kevin Patullo.
Oh, boy.
I really believe that. How the route concepts are so base. Listen, Nick Foles gets on TV and talks about nicest guy ever. You might not know this, Cottrell, but I know Shally does. One of the nicest, most humble guys ever. He goes, well, it is pretty easy for the defense to read. AJ Brown, his checks are at 6'12", like literally telling you how easy the routes are. Ocho Cinco's, if I can sit there and tell you the routes and I'm not watching film, then I'm sure the defense who's watching film can tell you the routes that he's running. I cannot understand how you made Saquon Barkley, who was the number one. Now, listen, some of this is on Saquon. There's a reason it's 80% because he's missing holes. 100%. There was a toss play versus Dallas that I broke down that was so bad. Like, he literally had a hole right up the middle, like right down, like all over the left tackle. And he went to the outside. He's making business decisions where he's going out of bounds, outside dropping his shoulder and running through someone. Some of it's on Jalen, not throwing the ball in the zone coverage. There's a reason there's 20% there. But they went there with a game plan, and the game plan was working. And Dallas adjusted at halftime. And when Dallas adjusted at halftime, Philadelphia didn't have a goddamn clue what to do. It's like, oh, shit, these plays aren't working anymore? I don't know what to do. Inside zone, inside zone, inside zone. Stop running the fucking inside zone. It is maddening to watch. The offensive coordinator sucks. Hey, Control, you don't call plays offensively. I'm going to ask you a question. Teams running cover one press man. What are you? You're running the ball or passing?
I'm personally passing with the Eagles offense. I'm passing
100%. How about this? Ready? Teams running cover 3 zone. Are you running or passing?
I mean, depends. I probably run, but I mean, you can get holes in cover 3.
If there's a 3 deep safety look, you run the fucking football. If there's a single high safety look, you pass the football. If a team is running cover 1, and I hate to get too technical. Some people don't even know what cover 1 is. I hate this. I'm arguing with Eagles fans all week. They're like, yeah, cover 1. I have no idea what I'm talking about. If a team's running cover 1, that means they have 1 high safety. If you have 1 high safety, why do you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith on the same side of the field? I wonder where the safety is going to go. What side? What side will the safety go? Oh, the side with the 2 dot receivers that they only throw the ball to. The Eagles' offense fucking sucks, and I'm tired of watching it every Sunday. And I hear, oh, they'll get it. They'll figure it out. They'll figure it. No, they won't. This is Brian Johnson all over again. You can't tell me different. This guy sucks. He sucks. 80% of this is on coaching. They're one of the worst coaches. Look, Cottrell, I work with a kid that is going to move to the CFL. He played at Rutgers. He played right with Kyle Monange, the running back for the Chicago Bears. He was better than Kyle at Rutgers. I work with this kid. He knows football, right? Would you say someone that played at that level of football knows football?
Yeah.
Walk up to him. Hey, what's the problem with the Eagles? Oh, coaching. Coaching, 100%. They have all the talent. They have all the talent. I needed that. It was cathartic. Anything I'm wrong about, Charlie? Outside the fact I know you don't agree I'd be a better offense coordinator than Kevin Patullo. I don't know how it could be worse. I don't know how. I could literally sit there with a Madden playbook and be better than this idiot.
No, I mean, overall, I mean, it's not only is it tough to argue, I mean, pretty much verbatim, I agree with you. it's very predictable. It's very stale. There's no creativeness in the offense whatsoever. Their spacing sucks. They play right into tendency. Like I don't know if there's been a time this year where we've gotten a first down and did not run the ball in the next play. It's not good. And when you play, and listen, I think the worst part is, to your point, Dallas doesn't have a good defense.
No.
And the game plan worked in the first half, and they put up 21 on them. They made adjustments. I will say this: I think the thing that's starting to frustrate me is I don't know what I don't want to say the agreement is, but I don't know how much Jalen's allowed to check out of things. I have to believe. I know we joke around and say he doesn't recognize things a lot of the times, and sometimes I don't think he does. But there's no part of me, to your point, like when you were going over the scenarios with the different looks and and all that from a defense, you don't get to that level and not know the basics of things like that. I find it hard to believe that he's not allowed to check into certain things, or maybe he's not, and maybe that's why they're not. Something's got to change. Something's got to change fast. I agree with you. They have all the talent in the world. They may be still on paper. They still may be the most talented team in the NFL, top to bottom, front to back. They will not win a Super Bowl with this offense. And I don't know if that means somebody takes the play calling away. I don't know if that means you bring somebody in. I don't know, but I find it hard to believe that everybody's just going to kind of sit on their hands here and watch Kevin Patullo piss this year away, because that's about what's about to happen.
That's what's happening now. And listen, John Suggs puts this in the chat. And by the way, John, love the comments. Eagles get another offensive coordinator. O-line is not as dominant, and don't play Barkley. Sure, he could hold on to the ball a little bit more. Your wide receiver one might leave if the OC doesn't get fired. The offensive line has not been as dominant. But I want to make a hey, Cottrell, I've played you in Madden, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If I told you I was running inside zone, do you think you could stop it?
Yeah, absolutely.
What if you had the best offensive line?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't fucking matter, because I told you what I'm running. The Eagles' offense is so predictable, it makes their offensive line look worse. It makes their running back look worse. It makes their wide receivers look worse. It makes the quarterback look worse. And the Shally, to your point, you brought something up about Jalen being able to check. Joe, what's that mode in Madden they have? It's like with DJ Khaled and what's like, I forget what it's called, but like you can only run a certain amount of plays and you can't audible.
Oh, I think it's Superstar KO, like that.
Superstar KO. I feel like it's Superstar KO. You only have 3 audibles. That's it. It's like that's it. You get a goal pattern, run the ball, or that's it. It's all you have. And in reality, if the playbook, football is the only sport where this matters as much. If you have the most talented team in baseball, a manager can't really fuck that up. If you have the most talented team in basketball, a coach can't really screw that up. If you have the most talented team in football, but poor coaching, you're not going to win football games. You're not. It matters that much more. It matters that much more. Their offense, I can tell you what they're running. I invite anybody. Sit on the couch with me. I'll tell you what they're running. I'll tell you. It's, oh, God, it's maddening. And by the way, don't come back here next week when they lose to the Chicago Bears on Friday and be like, oh, what happened? I don't think they'll lose to the Bears Friday, because I think their defense is good enough to slow down Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson's offense. But I got news for you. It's not going to be a clean game. They might win that game 23-20. How the hell are the Eagles a 7-point favorite in that football game? What world are they going to beat anybody by 7 points? Have they beat anybody all year outside the Giants by 7 points? Who have they beaten by 7 points? What in the world do they have to be a 7-point? Let's see. Cowboys 4, Chiefs 3, Rams 7, and that was lucky because they blocked the punt, returned it back, a kick and returned it back. Buccaneers 6, lost to the Broncos, lost to the Giants. Vikings 6, they blew out the Giants the second time. Packers 3, and Lions 7, and they lost to the Cowboys. How the hell do they have the balls to be 7-point favorites over anybody?
The only thing I would say that is you take the Giants out of it. Everybody else they've played is a really good football team. So
the Vikings are good.
Oh, sorry, the Vikings. So I mean, you're talking about every other game they've played is, and I mean, and the Vikings still aren't great, but I mean, it's still Brian Flores, and we know his history against Jalen. So you do have to factor that in a little bit.
Cowboys aren't that good either, bro.
No, bro, I don't disagree. I mean, Sunday was an absolute disgrace.
You disagree?
Yeah.
You think the Cowboys are a good team?
I think they are now. They will be now.
Oh, God. They beat the Raiders and an Eagles team that can't move the football, and they're a good team.
Well, I'm looking at them now with Quinnen Williams and Logan Wilson. And
you're reading too much. We scored 21 points to them in their sleep in the first quarter, and our offense sucks.
And they won the football game.
Because, bro, sneak pick, sneak attack, first pick, Chiefs -3, 100%. Put a fucking mortgage on it. Enjoy Thanksgiving dinner.
So if the Cowboys win that game, then what? Are we gonna?
Then I'll retract my statement. I'll say you're right. But if the Chiefs beat them by 20,
Chiefs homeless with no money.
If the Chiefs beat them by 20, what are you gonna say? You gonna retract your statement?
I will.
What's up with this, right? This is the bet we'll make. If the Chiefs beat them by 17 points or more, you have to come on here and retract your statement.
I will, 100%.
I'll retract my statement, and if it's in between, we'll just literally just
call it a wash.
Yeah, correct.
All right,
cool.
Sounds like a plan.
I love you. I'm in a good mood.
I get it. I mean, I get it. It's the Cowboys. Hate them. I thought they sucked beforehand. I thought people thinking just because they got George Pickens that they might be contenders, and I thought that was Looney Tunes. But you go out. I thought they made 2 really good deals. Quinnen Williams in the middle. Then you go get Logan Wilson. And they got Malik Hooker back. Bland has been back, in recent weeks there as well. Like I think that Cowboys team has potential.
Okay.
Eagles lost that game. Cowboys didn't win it.
I agree, especially with the turnovers. And I mean, I'm surprised you guys haven't even really gotten into that, because I still think you're in a position to win, even with the offense being as bad as it was in the second half there. Saquon with an uncharacteristic fumble, and then the punt return is something that just can't happen.
The punt return didn't hurt them. The Cowboys went through it on 4th down and didn't get it.
But I'm just saying that's another possession. Like, essentially, if you're playing the clock game at that point, like maybe you ultimately get in overtime because the Eagles get a 6-minute drive, there, or maybe they get points.
Same spot.
I mean, I get it.
I mean, that was a dumb bonehead move for that. And by the way, this is why I got cut from the Jets, which pisses me off because I was standing up for this kid.
Xavier
Gibson. He was cut for the Jets because he fumbled a punt and it cost him the game.
Yep.
He went to return the ball at the 1-yard line. I'm screaming at the TV, let it go, let it go, let it go. What the hell is he doing? And then he fumbles the ball. I lost my mind. And the Eagles get a stop. The Eagles defense gets a stop. Like, we can talk about the Cowboys offense. The Cowboys offense didn't do shit. They scored 24 points, but the Eagles went 3 and out 7 out of 8 times. And the one touchdown that they scored was, and listen, calls had nothing to do with it, right? I'm not going to get into zebras or referees.
They weren't good, though.
No, but CeeDee Lamb pushed off of Cooper DeJean. Yep. And they call DPI. If you call nothing, he catches the ball, I keep my mouth shut. It's hand fighting. It's fine. But, like, come on, bro. He pushed off of Cooper DeJean, and we're like, well, Cooper DeJean can't really play the outside. Why the hell can't he? I watched that play with my eyes, not what the stats tell me. Well, he had 2 X plays on him on the outside. He played good defense on that play. Shut up. We destroyed you in the Super Bowl. Hell up, clown. How's 40-22 feel? I'm kidding, bro. Thank you for listening to the show.
Hope you come back.
listen, I'm a typical Eagles fan. You're going to get it from me today. I'm in a good mood. This is
Happy Thanksgiving.
This is Gene. You hate to see Gene in a bad mood,
right?
I'm sweating. That's how annoyed I am.
It's the vodka.
Well, I mean, I will say, Sunday was one of those rare occasions where the Eagles lost, but the Browns won. So, I mean, I now you get to know what I go through pretty much every other Sunday. So, not even every other, basically every Sunday.
That's a perfect transition. I literally was my second NFL topic.
Congrats on being a Canadian Football League team.
So that's really funny because you brought that up, and 100% that was second on my agenda. And I asked you this already over the phone, but I'm going to ask you it live on air. So you're prepared. You're very prepared.
I was.
I watched the whole game. You watched the whole game.
Yep.
A lot of America did. A lot of America seen Red Zone. I don't know if Shalley seen the whole game. Probably didn't. I wouldn't tune in to see Browns, Raiders unless I was a psychopath like me.
I watched a big chunk of it for the obvious reason.
Control, what would you give a grade for Shedeur Sanders?
So what I told you on the phone and what I'll tell you again is I am somewhere in the B- C+ range. I thought it was slightly above average. I thought there were a few throws that he made that give me hope and, definitely gave me some excitement. He threw a bad pick, and I don't want to excuse it, but you could tell that the Raiders disguised the coverage beautifully. It wasn't like he just went out and made an awful decision. It was a bad decision, but the Raiders disguised, they confused him. With that said, though, numbers wise, there was throws that he missed as well there. Like I thought he had some timing routes that could have hit for big plays or could have picked up first downs there. But with all that said, too, I also look at it where I thought the Browns did a bad job of putting him in certain positive situations, just consistently getting behind the sticks. So you get it to second and long or third and long, and it's obvious pass plays. That's not going to help your rookie quarterback making his first start. So I thought there was some good. I thought there was some bad. But with the few X plays that he had, within there, I say it's slightly above average, which is why I said C+ to B-.
I respect that. And it's a Browns fan, right? So you always have to go up a grade when a guy's talking about their home team. I gave him a C, and I think that was being generous. He had a QBR of an 8.
Which I know QBR doesn't necessarily directly say how the game went, because I don't know how you can watch that game and see Geno Smith and have Geno Smith with a higher QBR than what Shedeur had.
I mean, he had a higher completion percentage. He threw for more yards. Like, the difference is the fact that he got sacked 10 times and his offensive line stinks. I watched that game, and I thought Geno Smith tried his ass off, and that offensive line did him no favors.
I mean,
now, granted, the Browns have one of the best defensive lines in football. They do. They have one of the best defensive lines in football. So, Myles Garrett, by the way, I wanted to see if you walk back your statement that you made earlier about Myles Garrett being a goddamn ghost that you made a month ago, and now he's going to break the sack record and be a runaway DPOY.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you have, 13 sacks in 4 games, I mean, yeah, that changes things a lot. So, I mean, 4 weeks ago, 100%, he called him out, and now he's doing his thing. So maybe he's been watching Wire2Wire. So, I mean, I will 100% walk it back. You go out there, you play well, I will call it how it is, but let's not act like, the majority of these sacks haven't come within the last month. I mean, you have a 5-sack game, you have a 4-sack game. This week you had a 3-sack game. So give credit where credit is due.
The 2 throws that Shedeur made out of his 11 completions. Actually, I'm lying because he had 2 balls that were dropped that I felt like should have been caught. And that's unfair. But the 2 completions that I was impressed with most was obviously the 56-yarder on the money, on the run to Isaiah Bond, or 52-yarder, sorry, was incredible. That's a throw only 5 quarterbacks in the league can make. Rolling right, on the run, on the money, like perfect throw for Shedeur. The second one, and this is a super, super, super underrated throw. He threw a ball to Harold Fannin. And it was just a crosser route, and it was only 8 yards in the air. It was nothing crazy. But it was the loft, and it was the way he led him that gave me, oh, wow. I love it's the touch on that pass over the defenders that led him upfield that I thought was a great pass. He's going to get credit for a 60-yard touchdown because he threw a swing pass to Dylan Sampson, and Dylan Sampson ran down the sidelines. To be fair, he did throw a ball to Jerry Jeudy that was perfect, and Jerry Jeudy decided he wanted to look upfield. I don't know what the hell he was doing. And then Jerry Jeudy caught a ball and starts running down the field, and then wants to hop, skip, and a jump and fumbles it. I thought Shedeur was a C. He was okay. He had a QBR of 8. He was bad for times in that football game. The part that frustrated me most about Shedeur was after the football game, even before the football game.
Oh,
are you mad at this? Do you like the fact that he uses I and me and I'm what they've been looking for? And
I mean,
do you think?
95% of the time when they're asking him questions, it's about us. It's about team. But that specific question was, what do you want to show Cleveland fans about this start? What do you want to show? I don't want to show them that my teammates are great. No, that's not what the question is. So you ask me a direct question about me making my first start. I have no issue with him having confidence or, saying that to try and excite a fan base. 100%. This is your one opportunity to go make a moment out of it. And I have no issues with that.
I don't know. I wish there was a little bit more about we and me and then me. But yeah, what are your thoughts? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're good. Listen, I think I think he looked like a rookie making his first start. I think that's what he looked like. I think there was, again, we talked about those 2 throws. I think there was 1 or 2 others he stepped into really nice and threw a really good ball. I think there's a couple that he missed that he would love to have back. Interception was bad. But I think it's just I think the biggest thing is, does he look like he improves this week, even if it's a little bit? I think he did really well with kind of straightforward concepts, like this guy's going to go here, throw the ball there. Once they start getting him into layered concepts and stuff like that, then I think we'll have a better idea of what he has or what he's going to be. And again, he's even if he starts the rest of the year, he's only going to leave the season with a handful of starts. So I think if you're Cleveland, I think you see enough to be cautiously excited, cautiously optimistic. But the reality of it is, we don't have a clue yet. He's played 1 game.
Ultimately, my thing is ultimately he's looked better in 1 start than what Dylan Gabriel has looked in 6 starts with the Browns so far. So granted, that's not really saying much because the offense has looked awful pretty much all season. Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, whoever's been back there, the offense has looked horrible. I'm not saying it looked great with Shedeur, but the potential is there. So I do just want to see more. So if nothing else, I'd love to see him for the rest of the season to just see if, all right, can this guy be a potential starting quarterback in the NFL? Is he a future bridge quarterback in the NFL? Does he suck? Or is he a career backup? I think 6 more games of this can help you figure out what bucket Shedeur is going to fall in.
We got some Turkey Day games that are tomorrow. And I kind of just want to we're going to talk about a little bit more in depth. Just like I say the same thing with college. We'll talk more in depth with college on coast to coast. We're going to talk a little bit more in depth on the Turkey Day games and sideline to sideline. Special edition tomorrow morning. But I kind of want to get your take on the 4 games. Just Packers, Lions, Chiefs, Cowboys, Bengals, Ravens, Eagles, Bears. And when we get to Bengals, Ravens, we can pause for a minute to talk about if we think Joe Burrow coming back's a mistake. The game I think that's most interesting tomorrow, and that tells the biggest story, and the biggest game where I'm lost on, I'll be very clear, it's Packers at Lions. I need someone to help me find home. and I really break down football, and I'm lost. The Lions have looked like a shell of themselves the last 2 weeks. Should have lost to the Giants last week, lost to the Eagles, only scored 9 points 2 weeks ago. The Packers' offense looks horrible. They look horrid. They don't look good at all. Who do you guys like Packers Lions tomorrow? If you're picking it, just say I'm picking it, and we'll skip over you for now.
Personally, I like the Lions. I think that the Lions, the biggest issue is in my opinion, is their consistency on defense. Obviously, the offense hasn't looked like a, well-oiled machine that where you not necessarily used to them being there, but I think at times you kind of see it. And I know they had this close game against the Giants this past week, and it really shouldn't have been that close. I actually got to watch that game in full. A big part of that was Jameis Winston was carving up that Lions defense. And I feel like that's just not something you were expecting to see in that situation there. On the flip side of it, though, I think the Packers defense has been playing really good. But like you said, their offense has been a dumpster fire. And I get it. Josh Jacobs didn't play last week. And, receiver-wise, they've been received by committee because they're number one, I guess you could say. Jaden Reed hasn't played in, 2 months. But ultimately for me, though, I like the Lions at home. I think Ragnow announcing that he's going to be back, I think that gives that locker room a jolt. And it being Thanksgiving in Detroit, I do think that's going to give the team a major boost there as well. So I think it's a big day for the Lions offense, and I like them to pull out the win.
Charlie.
I'm going to go with the Lions as well. I think they're at home. I think, the last couple of years they've pulled out a couple close games. I think as much as I don't disagree with you that I think Detroit has not looked the same this year as they have the last couple of years. Green Bay's offense has also just completely disappeared. I know Josh Jacobs didn't play last week, but I mean, it's been an ongoing thing throughout the last month and a half of the season, if we're being honest. The biggest thing I would take away from Detroit is I hope they finally understand the Jahmyr Gibbs effect. There's so many games this year still where you look in the second quarter and he's touched the ball 5 times, and it's staggering to me. And that's no slight of David Montgomery. David Montgomery's still a very effective back. Jahmyr Gibbs is arguably the best running back in football. And you saw it on full display. I mean, he's still he's top 2, top 3, somewhere in there.
3. I'll give you 3. It's fine.
So he kind of took over the game, and then first play overtime, 70 yards of the house, game over. He's your best player. Give him the football. I'm not saying he doesn't have to touch the ball 20 times in the first quarter, but to be at halftime and have 5 or 6 touches and have you be in a dogfight that maybe you don't need to be in is silly to me. So I think you get a healthy dose of Jahmyr Gibbs tomorrow. I like the Lions. I like the Lions to squeak one out as well.
They 100% should no longer be looking at them as thunder and lightning. Like, they shouldn't go together like that. They should be looking at them more like mashed potatoes and gravy. Like, the mashed potatoes are good enough to stand alone on its own. The gravy is essentially just the enhancer. Like, you look at Jahmyr Gibbs as your true starting running back, and you give him the carries that he needs. And for drives at a time, like, Dave Montgomery can get touches, like, no doubt about it. But I've had plenty good mashed potatoes. You don't need the gravy on top. So if Jahmyr's got it going, you give him 30 carries and you let it be how it is. But I 100% agree with that point, though, Bill. Jahmyr absolutely needs more touches on this team.
I gotta just shut up. You guys were perfect. I'm picking the Packers. It's funny, but I agree with everything. Well, I agree with everything you guys said. The reason I'm picking the Packers is this: Khalif Raymond's out, Brock Wright's out, Taylor Decker's questionable, Graham Glasgow's out, Tate Ratledge, their right guard, is questionable, Penei Sewell is questionable, Kirby Joseph is out, Terrion Arnold's questionable. I'm picking the Packers because they're the healthier football team. I think that what
I was going to say, before you got the Penei Sewell, like, I get it, those are a lot of starters, but
they're all the offensive linemen.
I mean, I doubt all of them don't play.
Well, no, I think a lot of them are going to play, but if they're questionable, it kind of means they're hurt, right? Like, I've watched Landon Dickerson be questionable all year, and his offensive protecting the quarterback's been questionable.
It's been a bag of potatoes sometimes.
I just think their line's hurt, and I think that Green Bay offense. I think the way Detroit wins this football game And listen, I could be dead wrong, but Detroit's going to have to be able to run the ball up the middle. And if their whole line's hurt, I don't see that happening. The Packers are very good pass defense. You know what? I'll lock in tomorrow. I'll lock in the under. How about that? So locked in. You get an ugly football game at 12:30. It's okay. Rest of the day will be fun. We're gonna put a pin in that. We'll get back to Turkey Day games. We have time. We're gonna get to trivia. 8:00. I don't like to miss 8:00 trivia. 8:00 on the dot. Where's Cottrell at?
Drop top.
There we go.
Christ.
All right. So
I'm sorry. I don't tell you.
I have 2 questions here, and I've been going back and forth which one I want to use here. I'm gonna ask you guys because I may use. I'm probably gonna use the other one as a. I'm gonna use one as a tiebreaker. But I got 2 lists here. Do we want an Eagles question, or do we want a NFL question? Like just a broad NFL question.
Let you pick.
I'd say we go NFL and use the Eagles as a tiebreaker.
Okay.
I think it's fun.
Okay.
Gene, is that where you were at?
I'm fine. I don't.
Okay.
I think the NFL gives me more an advantage. I think the Eagles gives him more an advantage. I think I'm a little bit more broad in football, and he's a little bit more broad in baseball and like obscure sports. I think I'm a little bit more broad in football. So if we go NFL, I think that gives me a better shot.
All right. Well, I think we get to the tiebreaker question anyway. I don't think it really matters because I think the NFL question is actually kind of easy.
Okay.
But so the question this week is, as of week 1, like just week 1 opening day rosters.
Okay.
The colleges with the most active NFL players on the roster as of week 1.
Okay. I mean, I think that's pretty easy to start, but
I think you guys are going to get through this. So
I think that Shally starts though.
Okay. I'll go Alabama.
Alabama, number 1.
I'll go with the Ohio State.
Ohio State, tied for number 2.
Okay.
I'll go with Michigan.
Michigan, number 3.
Give me them Philadelphia Bulldogs, baby.
Georgia Bulldogs are team tied with Ohio State at 2.
I'll go with LSU.
LSU, number 5.
Texas.
Ooh.
Texas, number 8.
Cool. I'm there. Scary.
Knew they were on the list. Just had to figure out where they were at. Number 8. 3-3.
I'll go Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, number 6.
I want to make Alex proud of me. Give me the Ducks. Ducks fly together.
Oregon Ducks, number 9. You guys are killing it right now.
I'm here.
4-4, no misses.
I'll go with Gene's squad. I'll go with Penn State.
No.
Penn State is number 7.
Wow. I would not expect that. I guess they do have a lot.
All right. Who's number 10? You guys are missing number 10.
I have 2. It's got to be one of the 2 of them. Hopefully, Gene doesn't get it.
Can you tell me the 2 you have, and I'll pick out of it?
No, absolutely not.
Control, do me a favor. I'm stalling. I am. Can you read me the 2 I've already been with?
All right. So you guys already have Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, LSU, Notre Dame, Penn State, Texas, and Oregon. For what it's worth, Bama was at 1 with 62 players on the week 1, like active roster there. Oregon is at number 9 with 35. So it's going to be less than 35.
I'm between 2 schools.
I actually have 3 now. I'm a little concerned.
I'm between 2. The 2 schools I'm between are Oklahoma and Clemson. They're the 2 I'm between.
Okay.
Oklahoma's got a lot of freaking quarterbacks. They're in the NFL right now. Lincoln Riley's produced a lot of them. Clemson has a lot of defensive players, running backs.
You're going to give me one of them.
I know. Boomer Sooner.
Fuck.
Oklahoma, number 10.
How was Clemson 11?
No, Clemson was 14.
Oh, it was close. Who's 11?
11 is
another Big Ten school, I bet you.
Nope.
Oh,
The one you're thinking about might be right behind them, though.
Florida.
Probably. Florida is number 11. Who's the Big Ten school, Bill?
I would
have said Iowa.
Iowa is that school.
I would have said USC. I was between Oklahoma, Clemson, and then USC was my third.
USC was like also tied with Clemson at 14. So,
okay.
But you had
we went through with no strikes.
A&M was at 13.
Never
Clemson, like I said. Stanford was at 14, tied there as well.
Jesus.
Tennessee was also tied there at 14. And then you had South Carolina, Washington, and UCLA rounding out the top 20.
I don't want a long question.
It's not a long one. This will be back and forth. It's a back and forth, and we're gonna go off strikes. Well, not strikes, but whoever misses, it's gonna give them an opportunity to win it.
Okay.
So I don't know who's going first here, but
you flip a coin with tiebreaker.
Wait, time out. Every time you're like
shut up, go first.
No, it's my choice. It's my choice.
Okay, you want to go first or second?
I want to hear the question first.
You're not getting the question.
What do you mean?
You gotta decide this now.
It's like Jeopardy. It's a season of giving.
It's like Jeopardy. You gotta know beforehand. You let me know
first or second, Charlie.
So wait. What are the official rules here?
So I'm going to say the question. You guys are going to go back and forth. Whenever the person gets one wrong, the other person will then have an opportunity to win.
Okay. I got it. Sounds good. We're not going to get the first two wrong, Shal.
I know. So that's literally what I guess I have.
Honestly, you probably won't get the first 6 wrong.
I gotta go first then. I'll probably get it wrong anyway.
All right. So this will also, I'm keeping you guys on schedule here. You're not getting a ton of time to think about it. We're going to keep the show moving here. I'm going to give you 10 seconds.
All of it is 4 minutes for his Oklahoma. So.
This is sudden death. So we're keeping it quick here. But the question is, since 2000, there have been 16 different Philadelphia Eagles quarterbacks to start a game for them.
Jesus
Name them.
Christ.
Okay. Not in relief. Start a football game for them. 16 of them since 2000.
G's gonna win this. I Jalen Hurts.
All right.
I'll go the other way. Donovan McNabb.
All right.
Carson Wentz.
All right.
Let's go with Michael Vick.
All right.
Nick Foles.
Correct.
Carson Wentz.
He's done.
Said.
Done.
Carson Wentz already said. You got to get another one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear. He said Jalen Hurts and Nick Foles.
Once was said already.
Okay, that's fine. Kevin Cobb.
All right. Correct. Bill. We're gonna get 10 seconds here.
Blah 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 blah. Give me. He said me damn shit.
Need an answer now.
Ooh.
Answer.
Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford's correct.
Mark Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez is also correct.
I knew another one, Bill. I knew he was going to win this.
I have 3 more. 4 more.
The dude
right.
I met.
AJ
Feely.
AJ Feely's correct.
Philly, this one's for you. Jeff Garcia.
Jeff Garcia is correct.
Oh, man.
He's giving them to you quick, Bill.
I know. I told you to go on this. I feel like this was like predetermined. Coy Detmer.
Coy Detmer is correct. What a pull.
I love Coy boy. Give me Mike McMahon.
Oh, my God.
Mike McMahon is also correct.
I don't know if I have any more.
There's a really easy one left. I don't know why I saved this one. I should say the other one.
Give you 5 seconds here, Bill. Pull something out.
Ooh, Dream Team douche.
Name.
Vince Young.
Correct.
Started a couple games last year. Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett is correct.
What's the other dude that got concussions all the time?
I have 3 more.
How do you have 3 more? How many are left? Kevin Cobb.
I said Kevin Cobb.
Kevin Cobb was already said.
God damn it. I think I'm out.
Right. Need an answer from you. Nothing?
I ain't got one.
Gardner Minshew.
Fuck that guy.
Gardner Minshew is correct.
Nate Sudfeld.
Nate Sudfeld is not on the list.
What? Nate Sudfeld 100% started games for the Eagles.
Did not start games for the Eagles.
Wow.
You need to go one more round. Got the list here.
You need to go one more round, Chow.
Who else didn't we get?
You did not get Tanner McKee started a game
last year,
and that is the last. Yeah, Tanner McKee was the last one.
So you got
4. You got 15.
It's impressive trivia. Step up your game, Cottrell.
I'm so shocked that Nate Sudfeld didn't start a game for the Eagles.
Did not start a football game.
Do you know how I knew?
Preseason game, probably.
Do you know what it was? No, Shao. I'll tell you exactly what I'm thinking of. The year the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2017. The last game of the year, Nate Sudfeld played the entire game versus the Giants. The problem is Nick Foles played the first drive. Remember after that Raiders game? Remember after that Raiders game on Monday night? They're like, we're going to give Nick Foles like the first drive. We're going to treat it like a preseason game because they'd already locked up the 1 seed. And Nick Foles started the game. He had the first drive, and then Sudfeld played the rest. That's the game I was thinking of.
Yeah, Tanner McKee was the last one there. If you guys would have got through that, I would have been. We would just have to call it a draw and come back to the.
I was going. So my biggest fear was like the Coy Detmers and the AJ Feelys and the Jeff Garcias that I was going to hit a 1999er. But like I kept remembering they backed up Donovan, and the only person that didn't start a game in 2000 that played in 1999 was the Eagles head coach Doug Peterson. But I can go back further. You want to go back to 1990? Bobby Hoying.
Rodney Pete.
Like, bro, I got them all. Randall Cunningham, Bobby Brister.
Bobby Brister.
You don't know about Bobby Brister.
I don't.
What do you know about Bobby Brister?
Don't know nothing about Bobby Brister.
You shouldn't, because he stunk. I had a Bobby Hoying number 7 jersey. Oh, it was so bad. Did you? Yeah, I know you had one. Every white kid in Philadelphia had a Mike Mamula 59. You had one, right?
I did not have a Mike Mamula jersey, actually. You want to know why? Dead ass. One of my dad's best sports takes ever. We drafted him. My dad was like, that dude's gonna be a bust. Like from the get-go was like, absolutely not. Never got one.
I'm picking Chiefs Cowboys, so I'm gonna abstain. You guys know my pick already, though. Chiefs obliterate them. Annihilate them.
I'm not taking that game.
So pick. What's your pick?
Oh, I'm taking the Chiefs.
I'll take the Cowboys.
No way.
It's like loser mentality is a sickness.
Okay. And the Cowboys make the playoffs. Don't say I didn't tell you so.
Make the playoffs.
Make the playoffs.
Sunday Night Football.
What is the? Are they even 500 yet?
They're 5-1.
They're going to make the playoffs over the Lions, who aren't in the playoffs. The Packers, who are 7-3. They're going to make the playoffs. They play the Lions next week, by the way. They're going to beat them too, right?
Where's that game at?
Detroit.
Nah, probably not.
They'll be 5-7-1 before you wake up next Sunday.
Nah. You're going to end the year at 9-6-1 and steal a spot.
Okay. They might take the Eagles spot. 9-6-1. We don't have 9 wins yet.
They might. They should let fans call plays for the Eagles. Like every play, you just pick a new person, they call play.
Just like a raffle. They raffle it off.
A whole drive.
Yeah. Yeah, get a whole drive. And if you put points on the board, you get to come back.
I'm down. PA crossers. crossers.
You call outside zone. Saquon just breaks it for 85 and scores. You're like, oh shit, I didn't have a second play.
Exactly.
All right, so Sunday Night Football, and then we'll get into picks, and then we got to move. But Sunday Night Football, Joe Burrow is coming back, and
is he definitely starting?
Yes, starting. They announced
starting
off the IR. He's starting. Joe Burrow's comments, and I love these comments from my starting quarterback, but I'll tell you why I disagree with them. He goes, "I don't care if we're in it or out of it. I'm not going to be healthy and not play. Like I'm ready to play. I'm going to play. That's just all there is to it." Okay, but you're the franchise quarterback and your team's 3-8. So number one, I want more draft picks. Number two, I don't want you to get injured again. You have a long list of injuries. And number three, I don't want to save Zach Taylor's job. Zach Taylor needs to be fired. One of the best takes in the history of this show that aged terribly and then aged perfectly was Cottrell 5 years ago, that said Zach Taylor is a terrible head coach. He shouldn't be a head coach. And then the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, and he's like, oh, shit. And then 3 years in a row, it's proven to be perfect. I remember that take like it was yesterday. And I'm like, oh, Cottrell, you're wrong about this one. And then Joe Burrow took him to the Super Bowl. And then since then, the Bengals have been Bengaled. And I'll be honest with you. They need to fire their GM. They need to fire their head coach. They need to clean house. I would call the Jets up like stadium. I'd call the Jets up and say, give me 5 first-round draft picks for Joe Burrow.
Pack him up in a tractor trailer and just move the team.
Cincinnati's such a dog shit organization.
Move to St. Louis or somewhere. I don't know.
No. I would say this. I don't think what Joe Burrow does the rest of the year is going to have any bearing on Zach Taylor because I think Zach Taylor's gone. So I'll give you the check mark on that one. I would also say if he's not 100% healthy, I don't think there's any way anybody in that building signs off on him playing. So I would give you a little bit of pushback on that one. Listen, if you're a Bengals fan, and if you're the Bengals owner, and you know how much money you have invested in that young man and what he is and how good he is when he's healthy, I get your sentiment. At the same time, though, if I'm a fan, I want my franchise quarterback to be like, you know what? I'm going out and playing with my guys. Win, lose, draw, whatever. If I'm healthy, I'm a gamer. I'm going out and playing. So I'm a little torn on that one.
My thing is, if the Bengals didn't want him to play, they could have put him on season in IR when he first had the surgery. Like if they thought, I get it. You want to keep your options open. You probably didn't think that. Well, you probably did think, but you didn't know if you were going to be 3-8 at the time he came back. Somehow, some way, I guess, if you were 5-6 or 6-5 or something miraculous could have happened there. I guess you want to have that option open, but if you just wanted to save him from himself, essentially, you had the option to put him on the season in IR there. Gene, I'm with you. I don't think that it's necessarily like a good decision for him to play because, we even saw it last year. They reeled off the however many games in a row at the end of the year, and 9-8 wasn't enough to cut it to get into the playoffs, and seemingly that's going to probably be the case again. So even if you win every single game here moving forward, I don't see the Bengals making the playoffs, and if that's the case, why risk another potential injury for your franchise quarterback who's now had, this is a serious one, and he's already had 2 other season-ending injuries to this point. You have a whole bunch of money tied into him. I don't know what benefit you have from playing him at this point.
Serious. It's not like an ACL. It was a turf toe. Relax.
That's serious. Your toe gets separated from your foot.
It's a little tendon they connect, you're done. There's guys that have played with it forever. It's not an ACL. It's not a throwing shoulder situation.
I'm not saying it is that, but I'm saying what benefit do you have from putting Joe back out there? Like you go out there and win. Let's just go crazy in. Let's go crazy in. They go 6-0 with Joe Burrow and don't make the playoffs. Like what do you
okay? But if he's injury prone, he's injury prone. So it's going to happen no matter what. Like it's going to happen this year. It'll happen next year again. Then if that's really what he is, I don't think he is. I think it's another just stupid freak thing to happen. Like he can get hurt at any time. So like, what are you going to say? Like we're not going to put him back on the field till we have 5 all-pro offensive linemen to protect him. I'm like it's football. Like that's part of the game. That's what happens. Yeah. Like, does he go out and tear his ACL? Does that suck? yeah, then it looks like a really shitty move. But he wants to play. He's a football player. Like, he also has other things to worry about. Like, again, dude, if my franchise guy is like, you know what, these guys sucked while I was gone. We're out of it. I'm not playing. I'm just shutting
They
it
suck
down.
while he's there.
They don't suck. They don't suck. They just don't win games.
They didn't make the playoffs while he was there. They were 9-8 football team last year with him.
All right. And we also saw him take a team that was kind of built similarly and took them to the Super Bowl. Like, you can't have it both ways.
Did they not suck then? Joe was really good. Jamar was really good. T was really good.
Okay, so who's going to be really good when they go on the field Sunday? Joe, Jamar, and so it's the same thing.
Well, T's not playing, and their defense sucks. So
their defense sucked then.
Well, they had Lou Anarumo then, and they were okay defensively.
I get it, dude.
You know who their DC is, Shelly?
What?
Do you know who their DC is?
I don't know. Joe Patullo? I don't know.
Somebody you know.
Al Golden.
Is it Al Golden?
It is. Left Notre Dame to go to coach Cincinnati.
Well, he probably had better players at Notre Dame.
Well, you see how their defense is a dumpster fire now. So
true. Don't get me. That's right. I'm not even getting started on that. It's the night before a holiday. I'm going to be good. Even though Gene's going to probably bring it up in a second, so it ain't going to matter.
What?
We're talking about college football playoff or college football next, aren't
we? Yeah.
And then I'll never probably get mad about Notre Dame.
Yeah, well, I'm pissed off that I picked Syracuse as my super dog. They lost by 70.
Yeah.
I should get negative super dog points for that.
Gotta get points back,
bro. It was 28-0 before Notre Dame's offense saw the field.
It's insane. All right, let's move on to pick them. I had a week last week where I felt like I was good, and not a joke, right? I was covering all 3 games at one point. The Titans score a bullshit touchdown at the end of the game to lose me my 12.5, to bring it down to 6, which made no sense. The Cardinals, what the hell were they doing in that situation? They end up losing the game by 3. I had the Cardinals +3, and the Chiefs just fumbled the ball 100 times. And they could score a touchdown. They're right there to score a touchdown to win the game. Let's kick a field goal from the 12. I should have won all 3 last week. I had 2 ties. And I lost it. I didn't deserve.
I would like to put out for just overall as a show, we're at 66%, somewhere around there.
Control, slow down.
Yeah, Control's coming.
Slowly but surely.
Those two draws are going to end up saving your ass probably in the end, though.
I will say though, the one thing that you talk about games, I had no business even having the one loss being as close as it was. I had the over in that Chiefs Colts game. I was begging for it to go to overtime. When it finally went, I'm like, give me a touchdown. We get a touchdown. We might hit this over here. And
we get a touchdown, we both win.
You know what I'm saying? I was in it for the both of us there. But the
Chiefs fumbled the ball on that 9-yard line. They threw in a terrible interception in the 12-yard line. They were just trying. They went for it on 4th down and get it. I'm like, just take the fucking points, you jerk offs.
For sure, 100%.
We got my only loss was the Eagles,
and I got the Cowboys, so gave me a win there.
I would have picked the Cowboys. It's so funny. I told Control last week. I said I would pick the Cowboys if I just can't do that.
No.
All right. Well, I'm ready. I have my 3, but Control starts off as usual.
All right. So this week for me, my first game, I'm taking the Broncos -5.5 at the Commanders. Looks like Jaden Daniels still won't be playing. I think the Broncos will go down there. They will play good defense against that Commanders team whose offense without Jaden hasn't really figured it out there. And I think they cover the 5.5 rather easy there. Second game, I'm going Friday night, Black Friday game. I like the under 44.5 Bears at Eagles. Eagles offense has been struggling. And I think the Bears actually, have a good defensive bunch there. But I think on the flip side of it, though, the Eagles defense has been lights out. So I think that's going to be a lower scoring football game. And then my last one, rather ugly. I really don't like it, but it just kind of stuck out to me. So I'm rolling with it here. I'll take the Falcons -2.5 at the Jets. If they can go out there, control the clock, big Bijan Robinson kind of day, and just make sure Kirk Cousins doesn't turn the ball over, I think they can cover that 2.5 point spread on the road.
I just want to warn you guys before I go. I am such a friggin' what is that called? An idiot with my picks. My picks are terrible this week. I hate giving points in all 3 games. Shall I get? I'm giving points in all 3 games. I hate that.
First game, I'm going to agree with Cottrell. I got Denver minus 5.5 at Washington. Just like he said, Jay Nance is going to play. I think Denver's going to go down there, play really good defense, control the clock, move the ball. Looks like Patrick Surtain's going to play as well. So I like Denver to go down to Washington, take care of business. Second, hate to do it. We already talked about it. Both alluded to it. I don't know if Gene's picking it, but I have Chicago plus 7 to Philly. I ultimately think we win the game. I don't think we cover. Last but not least, talking about ugly games like you guys both were. Just like Cottrell said, this one stuck out to me for some reason. I know Miami stinks. New Orleans stinks worse, and they stink everywhere. Usually they're good at home. They suck everywhere this year. I got Miami minus 5.5 at home. They're on a little bit of a mini roll. Kind of found a pulse the last 3 or 4 weeks. I'll take the Dolphins at home.
It's funny you have that pick. You'll find out in a minute why. I'll take the Chiefs minus 3 over the Dallas Cowboys. I think this is an easy game. I love the Chiefs in this situation. I liked it at 3.5. I loved it when it dropped to 3 an hour and a half before the show. I'll take the Chiefs minus 3 over Dallas. 86% of the money is on the Dallas Cowboys. Love it. Give me the Chiefs minus 3. For my second game, I'll allude to exactly what Shally said. The Miami Dolphins think they can make the playoffs. Why not us? Nobody believes but us. They're coming off a bye. They're coming off a little mini roll. They're playing at home. New Orleans stinks. Give me the Dolphins minus 5.5 over New Orleans, which means New Orleans will probably win the game outright. And then for my third game, guys, do you know who's starting at quarterback this Sunday for the Minnesota Vikings?
Not Carson
Wentz.
Max Brosmer. I don't even know who the hell that is. I'll take the Seattle Seahawks minus 11.5. Your first game as a starting quarterback is going to be at Seattle, at Mike McDonald. Yeah. Give me the Seahawks minus 11.5. You can make that 21.5. I think the Seahawks still cover over the Minnesota Vikings. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to ask again. I'm just trying to get pulses. I'm just trying to get temperatures. Is J.J. McCarthy a bust yet? Or do we have to wait another week?
He's played 5 games.
Stinks.
Okay.
That's my
played
pick.
5 games.
I'm not ready to call him a bust yet, but it's definitely trending that direction.
It's not looking good.
It's not looking good, but the people have rewritten their stories because I was ready to call Drake May a bust. So I'll give JJ. You say he's played 5 games. I'll give him a 13 game sample size. So once he hits that 13 mark is when I'll dub him a bust.
He might not even get 13 games. The Minnesota Vikings put him in concussion protocol. They're like, oh, we got to get this guy out of here.
For the second time.
He's so bad. We're just going to put him in concussion protocol. We don't want him playing at Seattle. That'll ruin his confidence even more. I don't even think the kid's concussed. They put him in. Have you ever heard of that? I'm serious. Have you ever heard of a team being like, yeah, the independent neurologist didn't give him a concussion, but we're going to put him in concussion protocol?
Honestly, it sounds like his first concussion. Like, I know it was different. He had a bigger hit there, but yeah, I think both of the concussion, the handlings of them have been questionable at best. It was like he's healthy, he could be our emergency quarterback, but we're still going to start Carson Wentz, and he doesn't even have a shoulder on his arm there.
Man, this is they're trying everything they can to get him more practice reps and like not destroy his confidence. And they're like, oh shit, at Seattle, he's got a concussion. We're gonna sit him out this one. All right, gentlemen, college football, CFB action. Cottrell, a lot of rivalries this week.
A lot of them.
Rivalry week.
Indeed, it is.
Okay. Where are we starting?
Before we get into some of the matchups here this upcoming week, just wanted to give small little recap of what happened last week as far as important games. You had Oregon getting a big win at home against USC. You had Oklahoma taking care of business in a game against Missouri, who didn't have necessarily CFP ambitions there, but some might thought it could be potentially a sneaky game. BYU take care of business on the road against Cincinnati. And then that's really, I would say, all that was important. Pitt I guess, getting a shocking win on the road against Georgia Tech. So that shook up some things there. But just kind of moving forward to this week here, we got a few games that are really, really important for the outlook of everything. Of course, none bigger than the game, which is, for my money, the best rivalry in all of sports. But first matchup here, though, one that lost a little bit of luster, but I still think it's a really good matchup, especially coming off of the game that we saw last year. How are you guys' thoughts on Georgia versus Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech?
I mean, Georgia Tech losing last week fucking blew. Pitt got up 21-0, and Georgia Tech just couldn't fight back in that game. I love Georgia Tech. I don't know why. I like Haynes King. You guys got me into him. I started watching him. Really thought he was a tough kid. But
he is.
Yeah, I know, but you can't lose games to Pitt at home.
I agree.
But that's yeah. I think they'll give them a game. They're not going to beat Georgia.
What's the spread? Like 13.5, I think.
13.5.
I think. I mean, for us to get the game we got last year, I mean, would be incredible. I don't know if you can live up to that. Because for my money, it was probably still the best game of the year last year. Still love Haynes King. They've been living on the edge all year, though. You know, we've come up with that term, begging to get beat, and they were in that proverbial box for a good 4 or 5 games in a row, and then Pitt finally beat them. I think Georgia's kind of peaking at the right time. Just starting to smell like kind of a sneaky, really good Kirby Smart team. I think Georgia's gonna smack them pretty good.
All right. Well, the next game we have here is one that's going to be competing with the. Well, actually, what time do you guys play on Friday night? The Eagles.
Oh, 3 o'clock.
More like 3 or yeah, say 3 or 3:30,
okay.
something
Excellent.
like that.
So this game won't be competing with you guys. This is going to be the prime time matchup. Texas A&M traveling down, face the Texas Longhorns. A&M spread right now, A&M is 1.5 point favorites in this one. I will say that spread kind of surprised me a little bit.
It went down, man. It opened at 2.5. I mean, it's a huge game for A&M. I mean, I don't think they're in any kind of trouble of not making the playoff per se, but this is Texas' season. It's a Super Bowl. I still don't know if they get it if they win the game, but they're probably going to be unranked if they lose. And then if they can pull this game out, I don't know if anybody has a better win at that point. And then it's really going to make Tuesday night really interesting. It's really going to make the committee value how much a really bad loss to Florida matters. But for my money, I know A&M's been a little wishy-washy defensively at times, but that offense has showed up every single game this year. Texas is still too inconsistent for me. I think A&M gets it done.
I've sold stock on Texas. They're just, I mean, they're playing at home. They play much better at home than they do on the road. All 3 games they've lost have been on the road. They lost at Gainesville, they lost at Georgia, and they lost at Ohio State. I think this will be a very competitive football game. I wouldn't even be shocked if Texas wins. But if Texas makes the college football playoff, I think that's a travesty. There's just too many teams that should make the college football playoff to have less than 3 losses. And to add that loss, and look, if you're only 2 losses on your schedule are Georgia and Ohio State, at Georgia, at Ohio State, I can hear that. Losing at Florida has got to be the death sentence. I think Texas will make this game competitive. I think A&M to lose this game. What?
I've never liked anything Gene said more in my life.
That's been like Bill's slogan on Coast to Coast.
Because Alex keeps telling me that it doesn't matter, and I don't know how you can go to Florida, get stomped to a 3-win team, and have it not matter. I just don't get it.
Definitely matters. And then you have that situation where if they beat I think A&M could lose this game and lose the SEC championship game and still be in the college football playoff. So I'm not really worried about this one. But I think A&M could possibly could happen. But I'll take Texas to win this game at home. I think A&M's the better team, but Texas seems to play better at home.
Notre Dame would hate that if that happened that way.
I think I would roll with Texas here as well. I don't know, man. That South Carolina game, I think it's a resilient win for them, but like it's just been sticking with me. Like I feel like, if you're
they went out and beat Samford.
if you're a team that has a pulse defensively and that game goes differently. South Carolina's defense absolutely did not show up, and as bad as Texas's offense or inconsistent as their offense has been, their defense is still full of big time players there. So
only thing I would offer to that, I mean, who did they play? The South Carolina should have beat, was it Alabama the week before?
Yeah,
they should have beat them too, and they had a horrible turnover with like a minute to go. So I mean, you love South Carolina at the beginning of the year. I mean, I would agree. I don't think they've lived up to the hype this year, but I mean, like on any given week, with Sellers and everything going on, I mean,
at no point though should they have gone up 30-3 on the road, like at A&M. Like that should have never ever been a thing that happened.
Yeah, but to come back from that win though, man.
I want to read this out loud. 5 straight weeks they lost to number 11 LSU, number 14 Oklahoma, number 4 Alabama, number 7 Ole Miss, and number 3 A&M. That's a gauntlet of a schedule.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think again, so you look at a team that hung in with all those teams. I mean, I get it. At no point should you be down that much, but then at the same time, to be able to flip a switch and come all the way back and win, that there's only special teams that can do stuff like that.
I agree with that, but I'm just saying I think that Texas will be able to capitalize on some of those mistakes if they happen in this game.
I hear you.
I'm with KC Concepcion.
Real quick before we get into the game, any shot Mississippi State pulls the upset and get the win over Ole Miss with all of this hovering around Lane Kiffin? Any shot?
I will say this: if they somehow win that game, and then it comes out right after that he's leaving, I don't know if he makes it. I don't know if he makes it to Louisiana. I really don't. I mean, that would be someone's going to get his ass. That will not be a good look if they lose that goal.
Coaching malpractice.
Well, we know the Egg Bowl can go anyway, but I was just curious if you guys thought there was any possible shot there. I think it's possible. Not necessarily because Mississippi State's a good team, but I do think this has to matter. Like, I don't care if you say everything right in the media. Like, these players know what's on the horizon.
Does Auburn have a shot in the Iron Bowl?
I thought if they started Deuce Knight, I 100% thought they had a shot. But Auburn's not starting Deuce Knight in that game, so I don't think they have a shot.
Yeah,
I will say I was
6.5 point favorite in that game.
I will say this: I think
they have a better shot than Mississippi State does.
I don't disagree.
I think if I will say this,
I don't disagree with that.
I think if Mississippi State can stay in this game, then I think it can get interesting, because then I think a lot of the pressure, to your point, falls on Ole Miss, falls on Lane Kiffin, wears his head. But then I think all that doubt starts to creep into the kids' heads on the field. Like, we do lose, it's like, are we screwed? Is he leaving? Like, that becomes a very interesting mental game for the Ole Miss players. I think if they come out early though and go big, then I also think Mississippi State is boat race too. So that the site, the mental part of that game could be very interesting to watch as it unfolds.
Right. Well, that's the I would
I'm
say
I'm picking the game. So I'll let Mucks argue over it.
That and last game we have here is the game. Ohio State traveling to Ann Arbor, take on the Michigan Wolverines. Bill, are you also picking this game?
I'm not.
All right. Well, I'm sure you can't pick Ohio State. I don't think we've, even the years that Ohio State seemingly was the better. Last year would be the one time. or the first year that we did the show too, I guess. But even then, I don't think you picked Ohio State then. So
I don't even remotely remember what I mustered up as a preview last year with as bad as they were. I'd have to go back and
you
rewatch
picked
that
them.
show.
You picked them though. You picked
Well,
Michigan.
I mean, I did, but I think it was probably easier because the spread was like 22 last year. So I was like, I probably get a prayer and probably cover. But I don't remember what else I said last year. I sure as hell didn't think that was going to happen.
What you got for this year, though?
I will say this: if I'm picking the game, I'm very comfortable in saying I think Michigan covers. I think 10.5 was down to 9.5 for a little bit. Started out at 13.5 last week. It's been bet down pretty consistently. I know I'm not
10.5.
What?
Do I get 10.5? I'll take 10.
I don't know. What's that? I don't know what's that. What is that right now?
It's at 10.5.
Okay.
Cool. Let me update my pick card here.
I think it's gonna be a really good game. I think it's gonna be a lot of cat and mouse. I think it's gonna be lower scoring than people think. I really do. I think both these defenses, points scored. I think Michigan's 7th, Ohio State's number 1. Obviously, overall defense, they're both in the top 5 again. I think it'll be who can, which quarterback. I think probably. I don't want to say blinks first, but it'll be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting matchup to watch. Wink against Julian, and then obviously Matt Patricia against Bryce. I'm hoping they open the playbook up for us. I really am. We'll see. I think it's gonna be a good game. I think we hang in. It's our entire season. If we win, I think we have a decent shot to maybe back into the playoff. If we lose, obviously, we'll just go to a big bowl game. But I would say I'm a lot more optimistic than I was probably a month and a half ago that we can make it 5 in a row. I think the defense will show up. Jordan Marshall's going to play. Andrew Marsh has been great, and I think the defense will take care of itself like it always does. I'm not buying into all this. Ryan Day's different thing. I know Cottrell is. I don't think Sharon Moore has any pressure, like a lot of Ohio State people are saying. He's already beat Ryan Day twice. I don't buy into that. And I don't think everybody being new per se on the Ohio State team makes them less susceptible to the pressure of last year. That team was one of the better teams I've seen in my lifetime, and was just as talented, if not more talented, than the team you're putting on the field this year. And you guys still lost. So I'm not buying into any of that. Not saying Ohio State won't win, but I don't think for 1 second Michigan's going to go on that field and be overwhelmed, intimidated, or anything like that. So I think it's a really good game. I think they stay in it. Like I said, if I was picking it, I would pick Michigan plus 10.5 with a ton of confidence.
Gene, you said something earlier in the show that I really want to harp on here. You talked about, great rosters, and you talked about the NBA, and you can have a great roster and coaching can't mess that up. You said in MLB, pretty much same thing. But you said with the NFL, it's different. Bad coach can absolutely ruin a good team or a great team. It's the same thing with college football. And last year, as great as that Ohio State roster was, bad coaching ruined the game. And I think that when you see that, and then you see how Ohio State responded in the playoff, I think that has honestly turned Ryan Day has had a revelation since that football game happened. I think the offense last year in the game, the offense, they wanted to play Michigan's football game for whatever reason. They wanted to prove to Michigan that they're this tough football team and that they can beat them in a ground and pound game and beat them in a defensive battle. And that absolutely did not happen. I think Ryan Day has seen what's happened so far this season, and they've seen that the 2 games that Michigan has ultimately lost were games where teams weren't scared to run their true offense against Michigan. USC threw the ball down the field against Michigan. Mekhi Lemon had a good game. I know their running back had a good game in that one, but you have to be aggressive against this Michigan bunch. And I'm not saying that, Michigan doesn't have a good defense, but the playmakers that Ohio State has in Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, if they both play, which it looks like they're trending in that direction, if you throw the ball 30 times in that football game, you are going to win the game. Do not fall into the trap of trying to beat Michigan at their own game. So for me, like I said, I think this game is going to look eerily similar to the USC game that you saw earlier that Michigan played. I like Ohio State to win. I like them to cover. I'm thinking 31-13. Think it's very close in the first quarter, and I think after that you start to see Ohio State's offense really open it up and start to put points up on the board.
We're ready for pick'em?
Absolutely.
I had a shitty week last week.
That's me every
I didn't
week.
win a game. I went 0-3 and 0-1-2. That's never happened. But what's the order? Same order we do?
I don't even remember, to be honest.
We've been doing the same order. I don't mind going first because you two are better college football guys than me, but whatever you guys want to do.
Go ahead then.
I'll start with the game. I'm picking it. I just moved the spread up. I got an extra point. I didn't think I was going to get that. ESPN has 9.5, but I'll take the 10.5. I'll take Michigan plus 10.5 over Ohio State. I look at it like this. Styles make fights. And there's so many guys on that Michigan sideline, so many guys in that Michigan locker room that have punched in the mouth of players from Ohio State, and Ohio State hasn't punched back. I just don't believe. I don't think that Ohio State's that much better than Michigan. And if this game was in Ohio State, I would think differently. Hostile environment, hostile crowd, Michigan's in their head. I'll take Michigan plus 10.5. I don't know if Ohio State wins the game. I damn sure don't think they cover. I'll take Michigan plus 10.5 over Ohio State. Next game, I look, Dylan Raiola is being out for Nebraska. I watched that Nebraska team play against Penn State last week, and they looked tragically bad. Give me Iowa minus 5.5 to beat up on Nebraska. That Dylan Raiola is opting out 4 hours ago. We heard Dylan Raiola is going to opt out. Half that team's leaving. They think Matt Rule's leaving. That locker room is in shambles. I'll take Iowa to beat up on them. Give me Tennessee minus 3.5 at home over Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt has proven they can't punch above their weight class, and Tennessee is above their weight class. Tennessee's going to run the ball down their throat. I think they'll throw the ball with ease. I believe in Josh Heupel. Give me Tennessee minus 3.5 over Vandy. And for my super dog, I couldn't find the game. I looked for a game that wasn't really a rivalry. I found one. Give me West Virginia plus 23.5 over Texas Tech for my super dog. No rivalry involved. These teams don't even hate each other. It's just a fixed little fight. It's not a backyard brawl like West Virginia, Pittsburgh is. It's just a little, not Texas Tech doesn't have to beat up on them. I'll pick up some super dog points at West Virginia.
Where's that game at?
I think it's in West Virginia.
Okay. I'm going to start with the team that Gene just mentioned. We talked about earlier, Pittsburgh. I'm going Miami 6.5 at Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's offense can be explosive at times. Their defense struggles to stop anybody. Miami has looked a lot better the last 3 weeks. They kind of got everything back on track. Carson Beck's look like Carson Beck. I think Miami keeps their playoff hopes alive. They go into Pittsburgh and they win. Oregon minus 6.5 at Washington. Washington struggled to score all year long. Oregon's defense has been consistent. I think Oregon, big win last week against USC. I think they go up to Washington, arch rival. I think Oregon takes care of business. I like Oregon by double digits. Alabama minus 5.5 at Auburn. I don't care who starts for Auburn. I don't think there's any way coming off that game they go in there and lose the Iron Bowl. They need this win. They're still spot outside looking in as well. They need to try to cement their job or their spot in the SEC championship game, or at least try to back into the college football playoff as well. I like Alabama to handle business in Auburn as well. Superdog, I'll take Purdue plus 28.5. I know Indiana's way, way better. Purdue has played better the last couple weeks. In-state rivalry game. Who knows? That Purdue. I think Purdue will play tough and hang in, maybe backdoor, steal me some, but I'll take Purdue plus 28.5.
All right, so my first game is going to be one that we kind of touched on a little bit earlier. I'll take Georgia Tech plus 13.5 at home versus Georgia. I think Haynes King is going to battle. You talk about games being certain teams Super Bowl. Well, this is it. Georgia Tech's not going to make it to the college football playoff, but at least, you can go out and say, we beat a top 5 Georgia football team where we should have won last year. We go out and get the job done, as seniors on our home field and go out the right way there. So I like Georgia Tech to cover that spread. Second game, I like Arizona minus 1.5 at Arizona State. Arizona State's been without Sam Levitt, throughout the last couple of weeks there. And I think Noah Fafita and company at Arizona will be able to go into Arizona State, get the win and cover the 1.5 point spread there. Then my last one, no way I was letting this go. I got Ohio State minus 10.5 at Michigan. Like I said, I think this is going to be one of those games where Ryan Day tries to prove a point here, where you just put up a ton of points on the board and just let people know this is what Ohio State should be. And then for my super dog, I got Stanford plus 32.5 at home versus Notre Dame. Look, no doubt in my mind that I think Stanford can beat Notre Dame there. But at the same time, on the flip side of that there, I also think Notre Dame realizes that they're going to make it to the college football playoff. And if they get to sit players for a half and then get an extra week to rest up since they won't have a conference championship game, why not take it? So I'm hoping Stanford steals me some more points there for Super Dog.
Interesting.
I don't think Notre Dame is safe by any means. So
you don't think they're safe?
No. I think there's two things that happened last week that leads me to believe I think there's going to be movement this week, depending on as long as the games go the right way.
If Miami wins, does Miami leapfrog Notre Dame because Miami beat Notre Dame?
No, because they haven't done it all yet, and they should have. They've both been 2 losses since the committee rankings have come out, and they haven't bumped them up yet. So why would you now with the Pitt win?
Pitt's going to be a ranked win. The only thing I would say is they said pretty much that the 3 of them were put in, and they were all really close. And the guy pretty much said, without saying it, that Notre Dame's schedule the last 2 weeks is going to be discussed as well. I'm not saying Miami leapfrogs them, but I think Miami's going to get closer. I think there's a chance BYU leapfrogs them. I damn sure think there's a chance Alabama leapfrogs them. Playing Syracuse and Stanford the last 2 weeks of the year when everybody else is playing rivalry games or ranked wins. You saw Oregon go over Ole Miss because Oregon played a ranked team and Ole Miss didn't. Ole Miss has been solidly 5 or 6 all year. Oregon out of nowhere leapfrogs them last week. I think you're starting to see it. So I don't, with what's left and what can happen, again, they're not going to have a conference championship game. Their last 2 games are awful. I don't think they can rest on their laurels. I'll say that. I would not feel comfortable if I'm a Notre Dame fan right now.
So you don't think do you think there's a shot they don't make the CFP?
Yep.
Oh, definitely a shot. Because I mean, you could have you can have control chaos happen. They don't make the CFP.
Yeah.
I think you could win the Big 12 and you're looking at Texas Tech instead of a conference champion, looking at them as an at-large team, which would bump Notre Dame down a spot. I think you're also looking at some teams that are there, like Texas. I think would have I don't think they'd have a true shot, but I mean they beat A&M, and depending on what that fashion looks like, I think there's a lot of conversations that could be had where you see Notre Dame bump down, and then not to mention you have your Group of 5 school, and then you have whatever the hell happens in the ACC. So I definitely think there's a shot where
one.
Who did I skip?
Big shot if Michigan beats Ohio State. They have the best win of both of them. They would jump.
I mean, they'd have to go from 15 to 10 to be safely in.
Beating the number 1 team in the nation.
I agree. I mean, that's Notre Dame's biggest problem right now. They don't really have a huge win. What is holding them in right now is the eye test, and they have 2 good losses. And I just don't know how one of them is Miami, and Miami again is going to go. I think if Miami goes on the road and beats a really good, or beats a Pittsburgh team, a ranked Pittsburgh team soundly, who Notre Dame just played, you're now looking at similar opponents and a head-to-head, and I just don't know how you can go Notre Dame. I just don't know how you can say, to Cottrell's point, as always, if I've actually seen the matchup and I have an outcome between two teams, how you can just ignore it. At that point, you would have
losing
both.
SMU killed them.
What?
SMU might be the ACC conference champion, though.
Yeah. So I mean, again, that's what I mean. Like, I think Michigan. I don't know if Michigan will jump all the way up in if they win Saturday. I think they'll be right on the fringe. I do think after the conference championship games, they might backdoor their way in.
Well, I mean, if you win that game, you do need a little bit of help, but you may make the conference championship game too, though. So
I honestly don't want to. So
I mean, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either
So-
in that spot. You just leave it up to the chance.
Exactly.
And go from there. Because 3 losses, you're definitely out.
Correct.
But yeah, no, I'm with you. I get it.
All righty. We don't have too much time. We'll go over college basketball a little bit more next week. But I did want to get just a quick update on college basketball. Just quickly. Nothing insane. Anything stand out to you guys so far this season? Any team that's better or worse than you expected? I'll give you one. I already want to move UCLA out of my top 4. I had them as my sleeper for a Final Four team. They do not look like that one bit.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would say the one thing that I've been impressed with is the fact that how these true freshmen are looking. I get it every year you have the superstars, but Cam Boozer's looking like he's gonna win, Naismith, Player of the Year award pretty early. I look at AJ at BYU, he's been playing well there. I look at Darren Peterson at Kansas, he's been playing well when he's been out there. And then even Syracuse, Kyan Anthony has worked his way into a starting spot, Melo's son, and he's been playing well there, and they've had it rolling. So I've been very impressed with the freshmen on the scene.
Freshmen have been good. I think some of the big teams have been as advertised so far.
Louisville is one of the teams that I love seeing so far.
Louisville, Tennessee had a big win last night over Houston.
Yeah, now they're losing to Kansas, though.
Yeah. So listen, I think the SEC is gonna be a bloodbath again this year.
Yeah.
I watched Kentucky play already. Gonzaga and Michigan play tonight, which should be a great game. I think we've looked incredible. Gonzaga started the year ranked a little lower than they normally do. They're all the way up to 12. They're going to go up again next week, regardless of what happens tonight. Purdue's look good. I agree with Cottrell. I mean, Duke, with Boozer, I think if they stay healthy, I don't think there's any way Duke's not there at the end.
Yep.
And then I think the top of the Big East is going to be really good this year. I think St. John's and UConn are both going to be legit as advertised. I think it's going to be. I think it's definitely been one of those things we roll into beginning of March where there might be kind of like we had last year. There might be a legit 10 teams that could win the tournament this year.
See, last year I thought we had a little bit more parity. This year, I think your top teams are going to be the ones that. I'll say this now. I think there's from what I've seen so far, I think there's 8 teams that could potentially win national championship. Last year, I felt like we were hovering in the 16, 17, 18 range at a point.
I think
good.
I wouldn't disagree with you, but I think out of that many teams though, I thought there was also definitely distinct tiers within those, where stuff had to go right versus where a team other teams were that team could just go win 4 games and win it. Whereas I think you're talking about the 8 to 10 now. I think no matter what happens, any one of the 10 of them could win it.
I've watched Cameron Boozer play twice now, and both times in the first half he looked very passive and very not ready. Now, granted, the second half of the Kansas game, he really turned it on, but they've played 2 Division I schools, and they've played 6 Little Sisters of the Poor. I'm not ready to announce Duke is here, beating Howard, Niagara, Army, Indiana State, and Western Carolina. They played Texas and they played Kansas. And in both those games, Cameron Boozer has looked pedestrian in the first half. Will he get better as the season goes on? Absolutely. But versus Texas, granted, it was his first game. He wasn't good. And then he looked really good versus he beat Western Carolina. Cool. I don't really give a shit. He's beating kids that should be in high school. I'm not bought into Duke the way other people are. I don't think they're as good as people think they are. But we'll find out shortly. They got 4 or 5 ranked games in a row coming up. They got to play Florida. They got to play Arkansas, Michigan State, Tech. They got a lot. They got a lot to get into. So I think by a couple weeks from now, we'll have a little bit more of an update on them. But I'll say this: Braden Smith at Purdue looks incredible, and he looks like he's taking another step forward as a leader on that team. I love him. I think he's going to be a guy that, and Trey Kaufman back. So I think that they have a very, very strong setup. I like Purdue a lot this year.
Right now, and I know we talked about our Final Four beforehand, but like right now, who would you guys say is like your like way too early like pick to win the national championship this year?
Purdue.
I don't hate the Purdue pick, but I just feel like we do this every year. Then Purdue gets to the Elite Eight and loses. Like I don't know. I don't want to be a homer, but like I've watched all of Michigan's games so far, and they've played a couple like good teams, and they've just been really, really good.
I mean, they destroyed Auburn the other night. That game wasn't a game.
7-foot kid you have. What's his name? I know he's been incredible.
I can't pronounce it. But yeah, I mean, Dusty's got the same stuff. He's got a big, and he's got a bunch of really good guards and wings that can play around him. I don't think anything Gene just said about Duke is incorrect, but I still think Duke's there at the end. Maybe UConn.
For me, that team is Louisville. Louisville's that team, and I think I've seen them play a few times now. Saw them. The game against Kentucky was absolutely incredible both ways from them. They're a team that I think that can defend well, and I also think they're able to shoot it well too. So right now, I'd say Louisville, but a couple of the other ones I'm looking at though. Duke is definitely one. UConn is another one. And then I still think Kansas down the line can potentially figure it out once Darren Peterson is back in healthy.
Let's get into You Gotta Be Kidding Me.
All right. So this week for me, I really didn't have like too many that I was super enthusiastic about. I would say in general, I'll just use time to say we have to stop killing these rookie quarterbacks one way or another. Because I've seen it both ways. And Cleveland media wise, I've seen people killing Shador because of Gene. I know you brought up the point earlier with him saying I'm what they've been waiting for. I've seen people been killing him for that, and on the flip side, I've seen people saying, "Oh, he's a franchise quarterback," and this and that. And then on the flip side of it, though, I've also seen the talks of Dylan Gabriel and how Stefanski is showing favoritism to Dylan Gabriel because they have the same agent and in all this. Like it's people need to stop. They need to realize that the NFL, there's not this conspiracy theory going on with this. Kevin Stefanski is coaching for his job week after week after week. And if he thinks that Dylan Gabriel is the guy that's going to give him the best opportunity to win football games, then that's who he's going to put out there on the field. As a Browns fan, I've wanted to see Shador for really the last 11 weeks. Like I thought he was the guy with the highest ceiling, but let's not have these conspiracy, theories ruin or create narrative around these guys. Because at the end of the day, let both of them play out there on the field. I think Shador has shown that he's a better quarterback. I thought he was a better quarterback in college, but that doesn't mean that there's just this conspiracy of everybody working against Shador. So this week for me, specifically Cleveland media with the way they've been covering, Shador, Dylan Gabriel, and really everything surrounding that.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
I like this comment. Tone. NFL quarterbacks need 3 to 4 years to see what they are. I agree.
Unless you're JJ McCarthy.
Unless you're Gene, don't like JJ McCarthy.
Well, just to be clear, JJ McCarthy was not a good college quarterback.
That's not true, Gene.
He threw the ball 18 to 20 times a game. He threw 3 interceptions versus Western Illinois
all college quarterbacks never have one bad game, right?
One? The guy hasn't had a good pro game.
That's not true.
He had a good fourth quarter versus the Bears. What else?
He's played 5 games.
Okay. Stinks.
Okay.
But just to be clear, I've been on that boat before he was pro quarterback. Have I not, Control?
You have?
I don't see it. Maybe eventually. They never bring up the fact that the Eagles and Ravens both wanted to draft Shedeur, and his camp said he was not in favor of it. If I was Shedeur, I wouldn't be in favor of it either. I don't want to sit behind Lamar or Jalen Hurts.
Guaranteed backup, or just wait a couple more rounds and have a shot to potentially start?
Shalia, do you have a you gotta be kidding me this week?
Nope.
No. I have. I'm prepared. And I want to read it to you. I am. I'm always prepared. I want to read it to you. Jamar Chase. To my team, fans, the Bengals organization, the Steelers organization, the NFL community, please know I'm speaking from the heart when I take full responsibility for my actions during last Sunday's game at Pittsburgh. What I did was wrong. The circumstances don't matter. My passion for the game is no excuse. There's no place in our sport or in life for that level of disrespect. I want to personally apologize to everyone within the Steelers organization. I let my emotions in the moment get the better of me. I can only hope and trust that you know that none of you represent who I am, not as a competitor, teammate, or person. I also want to apologize to my coaches, teammates, and organization for not meeting my own standards as a leader of the team. This has been a tough season with incredibly tough losses. We've all been frustrated, but instead of stepping up with calm, class, and leadership, I let you down. My having to sit out yesterday's game makes my actions even more inexcusable. I won't let it happen again. Finally, I want to apologize to the fans. I do not take anyone who wears my jersey for granted. I do not take my position as a role model lightly. As someone who strives to lead with character and authenticity, I should have taken immediate accountability for what happened. I'm committed to earning back your respect, not just with words, but with my actions. Day after day, on and off the field, I promise to keep learning from this and set a higher standard for myself moving forward. Something's missing. Something's missing there. Wrote a whole lengthy apology. Didn't say it out loud to the media. Didn't speak it. He released a press release, super PR. But there was one thing missing from that apology.
Facts. I almost used this too.
You didn't apologize to the guy you spit on, and Jalen Ramsey. You just left that one out, huh, Jamar? And the fact that you went to the media the day after the game and said you didn't spit on anybody, and now you're admitting to spitting on people because obviously the backlash, and you apologize to everyone, the fans, the Steelers organization, your coaches, your teammates, but not the guy you spit on? Come on, Jamar. You got to be better than that. So for this week, Jamar Chase.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
Literally, I almost used that. I figured like one of you might use that, but the other part that was like crazy to me is at this point, like I'm not gonna say it was forgotten about, but it had been a week. Like at this point, you might as well just let it be water under the bridge. Not that spitting on somebody is not water under the bridge, but I'm just saying, like at this point in time, like water. You said, you already said that you weren't trying to spit on them. So why now go back on it? Like if anything, just double down. I didn't spit on them. I didn't try to spit on them. Like I didn't do it purposefully. They suspended me. We move on. Like if that's your stance, go with that. Don't back it up and put out this half-assed, apology, and then not even apologize to the guys you spit on. Like that's crazy.
You apologize to everyone. The fans that wear my jersey.
And if you're apologizing, why the hell did you appeal? Like make it make sense.
Oh, Jamar. And there's zero chance he wrote that.
Oh, I thought it out. No way. Publicist.
I can imagine
GPT
publicist that wrote that had Jalen Ramsey's name in there, and he goes, "Nope, we're not doing that.
Nope, not that part.
Not that part. We're not apologizing because the truth is Jalen Ramsey's a jerk off, and he gets under people's skin And it's very similar to CJ Gardner-Johnson, where they talk a lot of trash, and Jamar's not sorry for spitting on him. So just don't apologize. Leave that one out. Like,
that's what I'm saying. He could have just essentially stood on business and just not released an apology. We would have forgotten about it eventually. You suspended, you missed the game. We wouldn't have had to go back to it.
Correct. Final thoughts, gentlemen.
I mean, it's the day before the holiday, so of course, want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving, and don't make any bad decisions. Enjoy good food. Enjoy the time with the people around you, because honestly, things can change so quick. Like, honestly, this time last year, I would have had no idea that a week from now I would be burying my grandmother, but also during Thanksgiving, spending it with my son, like our first Thanksgiving all together. So it's crazy how fast things can change there. So, just definitely enjoy the time, and, have fun enjoying the time off of work and spending it with your people.
Shall
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great point. I would tell everybody, enjoy the day, enjoy whoever you're going to spend the holiday with, your loved ones, your friends, your family, whoever it may be. I know we're sitting on here talking about sports, and it's become a big part of the holidays. Don't get me wrong, and I will definitely watch it to some degree, but also make sure, to Cottrell's point, make sure you're present with the people that you're there and breaking bread with, and because holidays are definitely the time where it's the most noticeable that you're missing people that maybe have been there the year before in your whole life, and now they're not there anymore. So, stay safe. If you're going out tonight, don't do anything stupid, because, just to add on to the other thing, things happen quick. You can make a mistake real quick that can affect, the rest of your life. So be safe. And if you have any friends that are struggling this time of year, make sure you reach out. This is the hardest time of year for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. If they're lonely, or don't have a lot of family left around or anything like that. So if you know anybody like that, don't be afraid to reach out and shoot somebody a text, or just give them a phone call for a couple minutes. And everybody, I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving.
I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving also. I appreciate it. I'm very thankful for the people that tune in to us weekly. Very thankful for the network and the people that I get to work with, particularly you two. I'm thankful to have such a great group of friends that, this is a different tradition for me this year. Going over Adrian's house to have Thanksgiving dinner is not something 5-6 years ago I'd ever thought would happen. I am so thankful for the Simpson family and their newest inductee into the world. And I'm thankful for Bill and Liz and a lot of people in his circle that I've grown to love. And I promise you need to treasure every moment you have, every Thanksgiving you have, every Christmas you have with those loved ones, because I've, taken body blow after body blow these last few years. This will be the first Thanksgiving without my godfather. Last year was the first one without my grandfather. 2 years ago was the first one without my grandma. It's tough. It is really, really tough to deal with those type of losses, but it makes you remember those Thanksgiving moments, where the shrimp was passed in between my Uncle Billy and my Uncle Gary and my dad and my grandpa, and watching the Lions versus the Bears, or the Lions versus the Packers, whoever it was at that 12 o'clock game. Treasure those moments. They are very, very, they're things I get to look back on, and I'm thankful for, and I'll remember them. But I'm also thankful. Let me not make this somber. I'm thankful for the friends and family I have that always reach out to me to make sure I'm okay. And the fact that I have a friend's house to go to share Thanksgiving dinner with. So it's a somber feeling to head into the holidays, but it's also one that, I cherish because of the past that I had and the future I get to have. I have some of the best friends in the world, from RJ to Nick to Adrian to Tim Todd, who listens every week. I appreciate all you guys. And thank you so much for tuning in to Wire2Wire Sports Podcast. Thank you very much for your contributions to the show and to my life. So that's all I got. So anything else anyone wants to say before we wrap it up? I'm the NFL genius, Gene Walzak. Got it, Joe.
No, I think we covered it all.
I'm the NFL genius, Gene Walzak. That's Kent State's own, Cleveland's own, Papa Cottrell, Sweet Potato Shally, Scholastic Shally. And we are signing out.